Leif Garrett is the perfect example of how exposure to fame at a young age often leads to a lifetime of mistakes and bad press. This teenage heartthrob was incredibly popular in the 70s, but tragedy struck when he was exposed to drugs, something that happens to far too many child actors. Many actors in the film and TV industries end up abusing stimulants and other drugs, sometimes even to help them stay awake while filming. Others get addicted to these illegal substances at high-profile parties, where they submit to peer pressure. Sadly, many people who are addicted to drugs end up imprisoned, when what they really need is support to help them overcome their addiction. This is a pattern all too often seen in celebrities. Actors and musicians begin dabbling in drugs at a young age, and if they're caught by law enforcement, they're put on the front page of every tabloid and magazine. This is not only a devastating blow to their career, but it also means they're likely to feel ashamed and alone, only heightening their chances of continuing their drug use. Leif Garrett had a promising start to his music and acting career at a young age, but all that potential was squandered when he turned to drugs. In today's video, we're going to take a look at exactly what caused his career to tank, as well as what he's doing today. Make sure you stick around because we're also going to reveal how one poor decision as a young teen left his friend tragically paralyzed. His promising career beginnings. Leif Garrett had a promising start to his life. He was born to Rick Nervick and Carolyn Steller in Hollywood. His mother was an actress, and so he began making appearances on TV when he was only 5. Sadly, his father was never around, which was difficult for young Leif, but he was still able to find success at a young age. Not only did he have a natural talent for appearing on camera, he was also academically gifted. He was only 15 when he graduated high school, although he never elected to pursue higher education. Instead, he worked harder to establish his acting career. Both he and his sister, Dawn Lynn, found work in Hollywood. The two even acted side by side in the horror film Devil Times 5 when he was 15. Despite this promising start to what should have been a long and prolific career, however, Leif's life was turned upside down by poor decisions. How poor decisions caused a tragic accident. Leif Garrett was exposed to drug use at a young age. He admitted he was only 14 when he began using them. This kicked off a habit that would last years. Just before his 18th birthday, he drove with a friend, Roland Winkler, from a late-night party. Both had been drinking heavily, and toxicology reports later found Garrett's blood alcohol level was 3 times higher than the legal limit. And he was also high on another illegal substance. The two were driving from the party to purchase more drugs, and then tragedy struck. Garrett crashed his mother's car, and his friend Winkler was left a paraplegic after the horrible accident. Winkler later sued Garrett for his injury as well. This accident left a huge stain on his career, but he was still young, and the public was ready to forgive him. Even though the accident had terrible consequences for Winkler, it seemed as though Garrett's career might be able to pull through. Turning into a teen idol. One of the main reasons Leif Garrett's tragic accident didn't immediately ruin his career was because he was an enormous teen idol at the time. The same year as the accident, Garrett had launched his music career, signing a 5-album deal with Atlantic Records. After releasing his first album in 1977, Leif Garrett, which included the hit single Come Back When You Grow Up, teenage girls all over the country were swooning. In the 1980s, however, he switched back to his acting career, which was met with equal amounts of praise. He starred in popular movies such as Cheerleader Camp, Party Line, and Thunder Alley. For a while, his tragic drunk driving accident was left behind, and it seemed his career had recovered. As we all know, however, more poor decisions led to the destruction of his career. But is there a chance he might be making a comeback? Stick around until the end, where we'll reveal what his plans are for the future. And if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. Messy relationships and heartbreak. While a teen idol, it seemed that on the surface, Leif Garrett had it all. Behind the camera, however, he was far less satisfied with life. Not only did he feel he wasn't contributing anything original to the world when he was a musician, he had a hard time building lasting relationships. He fell in love with Nicolette Sheridan, a young actress who would eventually star in Desperate Housewives and Knots Landing. Looking back, Leif Garrett recalled he was intensely possessive and jealous, and their relationship eventually ended in shambles. He also dated Tatum O'Neal and Justine Bateman, but those relationships ended in heartbreak. Those difficult relationships were likely a huge part of why Leif continued to party hard and do a lot of drugs. More run-ins with the law. In 1997, Leif Garrett had yet another run-in with the law, this time for the possession of cocaine. Whatever reputation he had managed to rebuild since nearly killing his friend was shattered when headlines announced he was arrested. He was arrested yet again in 1999 for trying to buy drugs from a police officer, and his poor reputation only grew worse. Throughout the 2000s, he was sent to rehab time and time again with bad results. The teen idol that people had known was no more. Leif Garrett was now only used as fodder for ruthless tabloids tearing him apart for his drug addiction. This, combined with bankruptcy due to the legal battle with Roland Winkler, left Leif Garrett bankrupt. Of course, this only exacerbated his depression and increased his drug use. His life as a celebrity vanished in the 2000s, and he virtually disappeared from the limelight. The road to redemption. Many former celebrities fade away and are never heard from again. Leif Garrett, however, was determined to turn his life around. He released an autobiography called Untitled Chapter, where he delves into the horrors that go on in the music and acting industries, particularly when it comes to young and up-and-coming stars. While he may not be much of an actor nowadays, Leif Garrett is continuing to work as a musician. He may be 56 now, but he's still got a few decades ahead of him, and with any luck, he'll win back the affections of the public as he continues to make music. Garrett had an incredibly tumultuous career, fraught with difficulty from his drug abuse. Were you more surprised to learn his drunk driving left his friend a paraplegic, or that his career is finally making a comeback? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.